Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're plunging headfirst into a moment that truly shook the soccer world. The kind of electrifying upset that makes you question everything, everything you thought you knew about the beautiful game.
Oh, absolutely.
We're talking about July 1st, 2025, in Orlando at the FIFA Club World Cup, where Saudi Arabia's Al Hilal pulled off an absolutely historic shocker,
Just incredible.
defeating the reigning champions, Manchester City, 4-3 in extra time. This wasn't just like a normal win.
No way.
This was, to put it mildly, one of the biggest shocks in FIFA Club World Cup history. The ripples are, well, they're still being felt.
And it's genuinely difficult to overstate the magnitude of this. I mean, think about it. Manchester City, an absolute giant in modern soccer.
Yeah.
A star-studded squad, meticulously assembled and led by, the legendary Pep Guardiola,
Right?
was eliminated by an Asian club for the first time ever in
Yeah.
any competitive fixture. That's huge.
Ever.
Yeah. And this isn't just about a single match or, a fantastic performance on the day. This victory is a profound and, frankly, undeniable validation of the massive investment poured into Saudi soccer over recent years. It's the quintessential David versus Goliath narrative, isn't it? But maybe Dave has acquired some serious firepower of his own this time.
He definitely has,
Yeah.
playing out on the biggest global stage.
Exactly. It's a moment that fundamentally challenges those long-held perceptions about global soccer power.
Okay, let's unpack this then. Our mission for this deep dive is to guide you, the listener, through the detailed story of this monumental event. We want to pull out every important nugget of knowledge and insight we can find.
Yeah, let's get into it.
We're going to explore how this tactical masterclass unfolded on the pitch, dissect the individual brilliance that lit up those key moments,
Some incredible moments.
understand what the cold, hard numbers really tell us about, say, efficiency versus dominance, and then zoom out to look at the far-reaching implications for global soccer as a whole.
There's a lot there.
There is. So, get ready for a journey that provides context, some surprising facts, and hopefully those satisfying aha moments, because honestly, there are plenty to be found in this story. The unbelievable result setting the stage for a legend. Let's start right there with that unbelievable core fact, because frankly, it still resonates with an almost, mythic quality, doesn't it? Al Hilal 4, Manchester City 3.
It really does. Still hard to quite believe when you say it out loud.
It was a thrilling, edge-of-your-seat extra-time round of 16 encounter played, as we mentioned, at Camping World Stadium in Orlando, Florida, July 1st, 2025.
Yep.
That date is now, well, it's permanently etched into the annals of soccer history, not as some distant memory, but as a very fresh, impactful, and undeniable statement of change in the sport.
And its immediate significance just cannot be overstated. I mean, this wasn't just another win for Al Hilal in a tournament.
Right.
It truly shattered paradigms. For decades, the Club World Cup was, let's be honest, largely seen as a formality for the European powerhouses.
A bit of a victory lap sometimes.
Exactly. A chance for them to add another trophy to their cabinet with, minimal real challenge. This result completely rewrites that script. It's a prime, living example of the growing competitive balance in global soccer.
Mm-hmm.
Imagine a club that, maybe even 5 years ago, would have been considered an unlikely challenger on this kind of stage,
Absolutely.
now stands victorious over one of the sport's modern dynasties, a team that has consistently dominated both domestically and in Europe. The sheer weight of that statistic. The first time an Asian club had defeated Manchester City in any competition.
It just blows my mind every time I hear it.
It underscores a profound shift, doesn't it? It challenges that deeply ingrained assumption of European invincibility that serves notice that, well, ambition, coupled with strategic investment, can genuinely alter the global soccer hierarchy.
It's a moment people will be talking about for years.
Oh, definitely. Analysts, coaches, fans, they'll dissect and reference this for years to come when discussing the sport's ongoing evolution.
Absolutely, and this victory provides such clear, tangible validation for the absolutely massive financial investment that has been poured into Saudi soccer. You look at Al Hilal's squad value.
Yeah, the numbers are pretty eye-watering.
Right. It stands at an impressive $242.5 million. That isn't just a big number. It's a colossal statement of intent, isn't it? A declaration that they are not just here to participate,
Not just making up the numbers.
but to compete at the very highest level. And when you then examine their roster, you see how that investment has been strategically deployed. These aren't just names.
Now, these are serious players.
These are elite international stars who were once cornerstones of Europe's top clubs.
Yeah.
You have Kalidou Koulibaly,
A rock. Napoli, Chelsea. Absolute leader.
a defensive colossus. Then there's Juan Cancelo, a player who once lit up the wing for Manchester City itself.
Yeah, the irony there. Turning his talents against his former club. He was key.
Ruben Neves, a midfield maestro renowned for his passing range and tactical intelligence from his time in the Premier League.
Wolves fans know him well. Top class.
And Srđan Milinković-Savić, a powerhouse midfielder from Serie A, known for his incredible all-around game and goal-scoring abilities.
SMS, yeah. A beast in midfield.
These players weren't signed for sentimental reasons, right? They were acquired because they possess the world-class talent and big-game experience needed to compete with the very best.
Exactly. This isn't merely about spending money, though obviously that helps.
Of course.
It's about translating that financial power into tangible on-field success against the traditional European elite. It shows their ambitions are not just dreams, but realities that can be achieved by attracting and, crucially, integrating top-tier talent effectively. 2. A match for the ages. The play-by-play drama unfolds. So, to truly appreciate the scale of this upset, we really need to dive into the ebb and flow of the game itself, relive the moments that built to this incredible climate.
Let's do it.
Manchester City, as almost everyone expected, asserted their dominance early on. The first half was, well, classic City.
Possession, control.
Exactly. Their typical possession-based approach, controlling the tempo, dictating play from deep, methodically probing Al Hilal's defense. If we connect this to the bigger picture, it was the classic clash of styles, wasn't it?
Definitely.
City's relentless, suffocating control and intricate passing patterns against Al Hilal's more pragmatic, structured defensive setup designed to absorb pressure and, crucially, hit on the counter.
The narrative was set early. City looked like they were in control.
They did.
And what an opening it was. That controversial ninth-minute opener by Bernardo Silva.
Yeah.
It immediately ignited the tension, didn't it? Set a dramatic tone.
Oh, yeah. The moment the ball hit the net, you saw the Al Hilal players
protesting immediately, claiming a potential handball in the buildup.
Replays were, well, maybe a bit ambiguous, but the ref let it stand.
Which adds that immediate layer of drama, and for Al Hilal, maybe a sense of injustice that fueled them.
Could well be. And despite that early setback, and City creating numerous high-quality chances throughout that first half.
They really did push. Savinho had a great chance.
Gvardiol from distance, Diaz with a header. They were peppering the goal.
But Al Hilal goalkeeper Bonu, wow.
Well,
We'll talk more about him, but his performance.
he was immense. Truly spectacular saves, but like a brick wall back there.
Denying City time and again, and pretty much single-handedly keeping the score at just 1-0 at halftime.
Those crucial stops prevented City from running away with it early, kept Al Hilal firmly, almost miraculously, in the contest. Without his heroics, it's a totally different story.
No doubt.
Then the second half, it just transformed the match completely. It was like Al Hilal emerged from the locker room with this renewed, almost defiant attacking intent.
A different team almost.
Totally. What had been a measured, sometimes almost desperate defensive approach suddenly burst into this explosion of scoring. This wasn't just about containing City anymore.
No, they were going for it.
It was about striking back decisively, seizing the initiative, refusing to be intimidated. The tactical adjustments, which we'll get into, combined with this surge of belief, it just utterly flipped the script.
Yeah. And the goals that turned the tide came so fast, it was almost dizzying watching it live.
Bang, bang, bang.
The stadium, which had been mostly City support moments earlier, was just stunned, then erupted. First, Marcos Leonardo. Incredible predatory instinct, clinical touch.
Great header.
Delivered that immediate equalizer, finding the net just 46 seconds after the restart. A perfectly timed header left Ederson with no chance.
Total shock to City's system. Instantly signaled Al Hilal's intent.
Then, just minutes later, the unthinkable happened. Malcolm, lightning-fast counterattack, caught City flat-footed.
Clinical finish. Sent their fans into delirium.
52nd minute, Al Hilal are ahead. The soccer world watching couldn't believe their eyes.
But of course, City, they aren't going to just roll over.
Never.
Erling Haaland. Characteristic goal-scoring prowess, relentless drive, quickly responded. Leveled the score 2-2 in the 55th minute.
Came from a Bernardo Silva corner, right?
Yep. Showcased City's immediate fight back, their resilience. It was just a frantic end-to-end few minutes that perfectly encapsulated the roller coaster nature of the match.
You literally couldn't blink. Every moment felt huge.
And just when you thought the drama couldn't possibly escalate any further, the game locked at 2-2 after 90 minutes of just breathtaking action spills into extra time.
More pension.
Oh, it delivered even more compelling theater, an almost unbearable tension. This wasn't just physical anymore. It was a profound test of mental fortitude.
Who could keep their cool?
Exactly. Who could sustain their focus, their tactical discipline, their intensity under the immense pressure of a Club World Cup knockout match? Every touch, every tackle, every decision just felt magnified.
And the back and forth continued into extra time with that same breathtaking intensity. It really pushed both sets of players to their absolute limits, physically and emotionally.
You could see it on their faces.
First, Kalidou Koulibaly. We talked about him being a leader, a rock.
He certainly was.
Rise's highest powerful header in the 94th minute. Al Hilal lead again, 3-2.
The roar from the Al Hilal fans then.
Yeah.
Deafening. Fresh hope ignited.
But Manchester City, known for their relentless fight, that championship pedigree, they find an answer through Phil Foden.
Off the bench, right?
Yeah. His sublime volley in the 104th minute.
Yeah.
Just a moment of sheer individual brilliance, technical perfection.
Looked like it saved City's tournament hopes. Right there. Level again, 3-3. Pushing the game to its absolute breaking point.
You could almost feel the collective breath being held, the whole stadium just on tenterhooks.
Waiting for the next twist.
And then the decisive moment. The one that will be replayed in highlights reels for years and years. Leonardo's second goal.
The winner.
The dramatic 112th minute winner came from a rebound, didn't it? After Ederson initially saved Milinkovic-Savic's powerful header.
Yep, SMS forced the save.
Leonardo, already a hero, reacts quickest, slots it home, sealing the historic upset and sending, as everyone said, shockwaves through the soccer world.
Just an incredible, almost cinematic culmination of a truly epic encounter, a moment of pure disbelief for one side, elation for the other, and just to underscore the immense physical and emotional investment. That detail about Marcos Leonardo needing immediate medical attention for cramps after scoring the winner.
I saw that mentioned.
He had literally emptied the tank. Every ounce of energy expended in that final decisive sprint, that leap, that finish, that single image of him exhausted but triumphant.
It says it all, really.
It epitomizes the sheer effort, the unyielding determination, the total commitment poured into securing this monumental victory. It wasn't just skill. It was testament to how much every player, especially Leonardo, left on that field. 3. Tactical chess match, the minds behind the masterclass.
Okay, so here's where it gets really interesting, I think. Beyond the thrilling goals and the individual drama, this wasn't just a lucky win, was it?
Not at all.
Nor was it simply a series of brilliant individual moments stitched together. This felt like a masterclass in tactical execution, a real strategic triumph. Let's talk about Al Hilal coach Simone Inzaghi, recently joined them from Inter Milan.
Right. A top coach in his own right.
What insights do we have into the tactical blueprint that led to this upset? How did he mastermind this?
Well, Inzaghi's game plan was meticulous, it was daring, and looking back, it was perfectly executed. He deployed a disciplined 4-3-1-2 formation.
Okay.
Now, that system itself isn't necessarily revolutionary, but it was how it was implemented that made all the difference. The core strategy was clear. Absorb City's relentless, possession-heavy attacks.
Which they did brilliantly in the first half, mostly.
Exactly. While simultaneously exploiting the spaces that City's aggressive highline defense inevitably leaves on the counterattack.
Ah, the transition game.
Precisely. This meant Al Hilal's defensive block remained incredibly compact throughout the match. They basically built the suffocating wall across the central areas of the pitch.
Forcing citywide.
Yes. They denied City the kind of quick, incisive central penetration that Pep Guardiola's teams thrive on. They forced them wide. And the statistics vividly back this up. City ended the game with 18 corners compared to Al Hilal's mere 3.
18-3, that's a huge difference.
It wasn't a coincidence. It was a direct and undeniable consequence of Al Hilal's disciplined defensive shape, their commitment to ceding possession, and their ability to dictate where City could attack from, pushing them into, frankly, less efficient channels.
And on the other side, Manchester City, as expected, came out in their familiar 4-2-3-1 formation. Erling Haaland, the undisputed focal point up top,
Always the main threat.
supported by those incredibly creative wingers, Savinho and Jeremy Doku, known for their pace, their dribbling, breaking down defenses from wide areas.
City's approach is usually to overwhelm opponents, right? Suffocating possession, direct incisive attacks, leveraging the strengths of their world-class players.
They aim to dominate every blade of grass, push you back, find those pockets of space. That was the plan, presumably.
But Al Hilal had remarkably effective answers. for City's formidable strengths. And it came down to both that collective discipline we talked about and some standout individual defensive performances.
Like Koulibaly on Haaland.
Exactly. Kalidou Koulibaly delivered a masterful marking job on Erling Haaland. He was physically dominant, incredibly intelligent in his positioning, anticipated Haaland's runs exceptionally well, effectively limiting the Norwegian's usual devastating impact.
Haaland still scored, though.
He did, which shows his quality, but he was rarely able to dominate the game or create constant havoc like he often does. Koulibaly really marshaled him well.
Okay.
Furthermore, Yassine Bonu's superb positioning and commanding presence in the box largely neutralized City's crossing game.
That's huge against City.
Critical, because City relies so heavily on wide play and accurate deliveries into the box. Bonu wasn't just making saves, he was anticipating, cutting off supply lines, commanding his area, making it exponentially harder for those crosses to become truly dangerous chances.
So individual efforts amplified by the overall structure.
Perfectly put, creating an almost impenetrable defensive unit for long stretches.
So what were the pivotal moments, the real tactical turning points that shifted the momentum so decisively in Al Hilal's favor? What did Inzaghi do, maybe at halftime, to outmaneuver a coaching giant like Guardiola?
The tactical turning point, without a doubt, came with Inzaghi's halftime adjustments. This is really where a coach earns their stripes, isn't it?
Definitely.
Al Hilal emerged from the break with a palpably greater attacking intent. They didn't just sit deeper. They started pressing higher, more aggressively and intelligently exploiting the spaces left by City's often aggressive high defensive line, his sense of vulnerability, and they attacked it.
And Cancelo played a big role there, against his old team.
A key figure in this shift was João Cancelo. His performance against his former club was particularly noteworthy and influential. He consistently found space down the flanks, maybe leveraging his intimate knowledge of City's defensive movements and tendencies.
You'd think so.
He knew where the gaps would appear, where to make his runs, how to deliver dangerous balls. And it was his precise delivery that provided the cross for Leonardo's crucial equalizer just seconds into the second half.
So that wasn't just individual brilliance, but executing a tactical instruction.
With devastating effect, yeah. Turning his insider knowledge into a direct contribution on the score sheet. That goal changed everything.
After Al Hilal's quick-fire goals early in the second half, City, understandably, looked a bit shell-shocked. They made desperate attempts to regain control through substitutions. How did Pep try to fix it?
City substitutions were a clear reflection of their changing priorities and, yeah, probably mounting desperation as the match slipped away. Initially, after those rapid-fire goals.
The Akanji and Ake changes.
Exactly. Guardiola brought on Manuel Akanji and Nathan Ake. That was clearly a move for defensive stability, a desperate attempt to shore up the back line, prevent further damage, try to regain some composure and control.
Trying to stop the...
Right. Then, as extra time wore on and they were chasing the game again, he went all-out attack. Introduced Phil Foden, Omar Marmish, and Rayan Cherki.
All attacking threats.
High-quality, offensive-minded players designed to provide fresh legs, creative spark, direct goal threats. And while Foden's sublime goal did temporarily rescue City,
Share his class.
demonstrated his incredible talent and clutch ability, the fresh legs, despite their quality, ultimately couldn't prevent Al Hilal's winner. It was a valiant effort, testament to City's depth. But Al Hilal's tactical setup, their unwavering determination, their resilience, it just proved too strong on the day.
Guardiola's shifts felt reactive, maybe.
Felt that way. Reactive rather than proactive, and Al Hilal had already seized the initiative by then.
And what about the coaches' reactions before and after this monumental clash? We often talk about tactical battles on the pitch, but their words outside the lines can be equally revealing, right?
Oh, definitely. The commentary from both coaches adds another fascinating layer to this whole tactical chess match.
What did Pep say?
Well, Guardiola's post-match comments, despite the obvious sting of defeat, conveyed both disappointment and actually a deep, genuine respect for Al Hilal's quality. He acknowledged the challenge, saying, "At this stage, they're all difficult games."
Fair enough.
He also conceded, "We allowed them to create transitions, but we created a lot, and in general, we were good." Which kind of acknowledges Al Hilal's counterattacking threat.
And he had mentioned them being good before the match, too, hadn't he?
Yeah, what's particularly fascinating is his pre-match assessment proved somewhat prophetic. He'd said, if they compete against Real Madrid how they competed, it's because they are a good team. The last 2 or 3 years, the Saudi League has improved incredibly.
So he wasn't underestimating them.
Shows he recognized the growing threat, even if his team ultimately couldn't overcome it. His acknowledgement of their ability to create transitions speaks directly to Inzaghi's strategy.
And Inzaghi, what was his take, especially pre-match?
Well, Simone Inzaghi's pre-match praise for Guardiola really highlighted the tactical battle that was about to unfold. Inzaghi stated, "I believe that every coach that starts to train can see Guardiola as an inspiration. There was football before Guardiola and after Guardiola. He developed a new philosophy of football."
High praise.
Huge respect. And it underscores the high-level strategic battle that transpired. Inzaghi's tactical execution that day, meticulously dismantling City's usual dominance, was, in a way, a validation of his own words. It showed that even Guardiola's revolutionary methods could be effectively countered with proper preparation, a shrewd game plan, and flawless execution from his players.
And he also talked about their ambition, didn't he?
He did. Inzaghi clearly articulated Al Hilal's mindset, saying, "Our goal was to achieve being in the group of the best teams in the world. We were not coming here just to have fun. We were coming here to play a World Cup, and we wanted to reach this stage."
They certainly played like they meant it.
That ambitious attitude, translated into such a disciplined and effective performance, showed Al Hilal truly believed they belonged on soccer's biggest stage. They played with a conviction that absolutely matched their words. 4. Individual brilliance heroes and nearly heroes.
So what does this all mean when we look at the players themselves? Beyond the tactics, beyond the collective effort, individual performances often illuminate the character of a match, right? Defining moments, shifting outcomes. Who were the heroes on this epic night?
Well, the match analysis is pretty unequivocal. Marcos Leonardo emerged as the undisputed man of the match.
Had to be, really. Two crucial goals.
His performance was nothing short of exceptional, truly a masterclass in opportunistic finishing. He displayed incredible positioning, that innate sense of where the ball would fall, and remarkable composure under the most intense pressure.
The equalizer right after halftime. Huge.
Absolutely critical. That perfectly timed header signaled their intent, stunned City, and then, of course, the dramatic 112th-minute winner.
Reacting quickest to the rebound.
Demonstrating his quick reflexes, slotting it home. A goal that eliminated the defending champions. And that image of his celebration, needing medical attention for cramps.
Yeah, we mentioned that. Says it all.
Epitomized the immense physical and emotional investment. He truly left everything on that field, and his effort paid off spectacularly.
And right there with him, surely, Yassine Bounou in goal.
Oh, absolutely. His performance between the sticks was nothing short of a goalkeeping masterclass. Many are calling it one of the tournament's defining individual performances.
He wasn't just good, he was like transcendent, a wall of defiance.
Bono made 10 crucial saves throughout the game, including those absolute spectacular first-half stops when City was dominating possession and really threatening to run away with it.
Kept them in it, single-handedly almost.
Held the line,
Brr.
prevented an early blowout. Specifically, those crucial one-on-one saves on Savinho, his agile denial of Gvardiol's powerful shot, that acrobatic stop from Ruben Dias's header.
Moment City seemed certain to score.
Only for Bounou to deny them with incredible agility, positioning, and just unbreakable will. He was Al Hilal's rock, their last line of defense. Arguably the most influential player in keeping them in the game long enough to launch that comeback. Another player whose performance was absolutely pivotal was Kalidou Koulibaly.
Leader at the back.
His display exemplified leadership at both ends of the pitch, defensive solidity combined with that crucial attacking contribution.
The header in extra time to put them ahead again.
Exactly. Powerful leap, perfectly timed finish. But his defensive work was simply outstanding too, neutralizing Haaland throughout the match. That's a feat very few defenders manage consistently.
Physically imposing, smart positioning.
Cracked his runs, anticipated movements, disrupted his rhythm. Dominant in the air too, won 8 aerial duels, made 6 clearances, snuffing out danger.
And composed on the ball too, apparently.
Yeah, his 91% pass accuracy showcased not just defensive solidity, but also composed distribution. Vital for helping Al Hilal maintain shape and launch those counters. He was, quite simply, the complete package on the day, a colossal figure.
Even in defeat, though, City. I mean, it's a team full of world-class talent. They had some standout performers who showed their quality, fought till the end, who, from City, deserves recognition despite the loss.
Yeah, despite the crushing defeat, several City players delivered moments of brilliance. Phil Foden, coming off the bench,
Right, a huge impact.
instantly injected pace, creativity, and that 104th-minute equalizer, a moment of sublime skill and composure. That volley was perfect.
Very nearly saved them. Showed why he's so important.
Absolutely. Highlights his unique ability to change a game. Bernardo Silva, too. Scored the early goal, clever finish.
And was pulling the strings in midfield.
Instrumental in their midfield orchestration throughout. Consistently probing, distributing, trying to unlock that disciplined defense. He was probably their most consistent creative threat.
And Highland, despite being marked well.
Well, yeah, Erling Haaland, even while being meticulously marked by Koulibaly and maybe not his most dominant, still managed to score his equalizer.
Predatory instincts.
Exactly. Showed his remarkable ability to find the net even when denied space and service. Proved his lethal threat even on a difficult day. These guys fought tooth and nail, displayed their immense talent, but ultimately, it just wasn't enough.
For our listener, maybe it's helpful just to quickly run through the starting lineups, just to really contextualize the sheer caliber of players involved here. Makes the win even more remarkable.
Absolutely. Understanding the lineups truly underscores the David versus Goliath narrative, even if, as we said, David had acquired some giants of his own.
So, City started with
Ederson in goal, Matheus Nunes, Ruben Dias, Josko Vivedio, Ryan Aït-Nouri across the back, Bernardo Silva, Tijani Reinders, Ilkay Gundogan in midfield, Savinho, Jeremy Doku, and Erling Haaland leading the attack.
just stacked with international stars, Champions League winners.
Absolutely brimming with them. And Al Hilal countered with Bruno in goal, John Cancelo, Moteba Al-Harbi, Kalidou Koulibaly, Redon Lodi in defense, Nasser Al-Dossari and Ruben Neves holding the midfield, and Malcolm, Sergej Milenkovic-Savic, and Mohamed Kano supporting Marcos Leonardo up front.
So many familiar names there, too. Stars from top European leagues.
Exactly. Players who have excelled at the highest level, now bringing that talent and big game experience to Al Hilal. It truly was a clash of elite talent, testament to the global reach of the sport, and it makes Al Hilal's victory all the more remarkable when you consider the quality they overcame. V. The numbers game efficiency versus dominance.
Okay, let's unpack this with the cold, hard statistics now. Often, the numbers tell a different story, maybe a more objective tale than what our eyes perceive in the heat of the moment. And in this case, the stats absolutely confirm the nature of this stunning upset, don't they? Highlighting this fascinating battle between overwhelming dominance and just clinical efficiency.
They absolutely do. The contrast in possession is just staggering. Manchester City held an overwhelming 70.9% possession.
Wow, over 70%. Typical City.
Typical suffocating control. They also completed an astonishing 717 accurate passes from 769 attempted. That's 93.2% accuracy.
Incredible numbers.
Showcases their fundamental dominance in ball retention, circulation, meticulous build-up, surgical precision. Compare that to Al Hilal. Just 29.1% possession.
Less than a third of the ball.
And 449 total passes with an 83.3% accuracy. These numbers unequivocally demonstrate Al Hilal's deliberate counterattacking strategy. They didn't need the ball to be effective.
Just needed to be incisive when they had it.
Ruthlessly efficient, relying on rapid transitions, not sustained possession.
And the shot statistics are even more revealing, painting a truly dramatic picture. City registered a massive 28 total shots versus Al Hilal's 13.
More than double the attempts.
And shots on target. City had 14 on target compared to Al Hilal's precisely 3.
14-3.
On paper, if you just saw those numbers without knowing the score, you'd predict a comfortable City win, wouldn't you?
You absolutely would. A completely different, probably one-sided outcome. But this is where it gets truly fascinating and where the story of the match is fully illuminated. Despite City's overwhelming statistical dominance in possession and shots indicators that typically lead to victory for them, Al Hilal's clinical finishing was just out of this world. They managed to convert 4 goals from just 13 shots.
4 goals from 13 shots. That's an extraordinary conversion rate.
Ruthless, capitalizing on virtually every clear-cut opportunity that came their way. City, on the other hand, for all their creativity, volume, relentless attacking, only 3 goals from their 28 attempts.
3 from 28, that's not great.
It's a stark illustration, isn't it? The crucial difference between merely creating chances and actually taking them. Al Hilal capitalized, while City found Bonu and that disciplined defense almost impenetrable for many attempts. Maybe a lack of clinical edge on the day, frustration setting in.
Possibly. Were there any other statistical insights that stand out from this game, maybe about how each team approached things or the temperament?
Yeah, a few other numbers paint an even clearer picture. The set-piece dominance, heavily favored City. We mentioned the 18 corners to Al Hilal's 3.
Right, reflects them being forced wide.
Exactly. Directly reflects City's attacking focus on wide play, getting crosses in, a consequence of Al Hilal's compact central defense denying direct routes. City constantly trying to stretch them, force errors from the flanks.
What about fouls? Was it chippy?
Actually, the foul count was relatively even. City 11, Al Hilal 13. It suggests a fiercely contested match, but not overly aggressive or malicious. Both teams committed, but within the rules.
And discipline. Cards.
Perhaps most remarkably, disciplinary actions were minimal. City received 3 yellow cards: Javariol, Nunez, Akanji, and quite astonishingly, Al Hilal received none until Leonardo's booking for his celebration after the winning goal.
Wow, 0 cards in regulation and most of extra time under that pressure.
Speaks volumes about Al Hilal's discipline, their focus, their composure under immense pressure. Particularly given the stakes, the physical nature, they maintained their tactical shape and their emotional control, even as things escalated. And, this raises an important question for you, the listener, to consider. What does this statistical story, this tale of efficiency triumphing over sheer dominance, tell us about evolving strategies in top-tier soccer? Does it suggest a future where a well-drilled, highly efficient counterattacking team, even with significantly less possession, can consistently overcome an overwhelmingly dominant possession-based side, especially on these biggest stages?
It certainly makes you think, doesn't it? About how different paths can lead to victory in modern soccer. Maybe those traditional metrics like possession need reevaluating.
Perhaps, or at least understanding they don't tell the whole story. Fives, broader implications beyond the pitch, reshaping global soccer.
So, let's zoom out. What does this all mean? For the tournament itself, for global soccer as a whole, for the bigger picture of the sport's development, its power dynamics. This win clearly reverberates far beyond the final whistle, right?
Oh, undoubtedly. The immediate tournament implications are profound. Al Hilal's victory means they advance to face Fluminense in the quarterfinals.
Another non-European giant.
Exactly. Setting up an incredibly intriguing matchup between two teams who both managed to eliminate European champions in the earlier stages. That's a fresh, compelling narrative in a competition that, let's face it, has been dominated by European clubs for too long.
And Al Hilal became the last team standing from outside Europe or South America.
Crucially, yes. The last remaining non-European South American team in the competition, carrying the hopes and ambitions of an entire continent Asian soccer on their shoulders.
Well, for City, their early exit
Completely opened up their side of the bracket considerably. For other big teams like Chelsea, Palmeiras, they'd likely have faced City later on. Now they see a clearer path to the final.
And this result joins other upsets, too, like Fluminense beating Inter Milan.
Yep, Fluminense's impressive 2-0 victory over Inter. Collectively, these results signal a more unpredictable, more competitive, and truly more global Club World Cup.
And it really emphasizes how this expanded 32-team format proved its worth, doesn't it? Through that competitive balance.
Yeah.
For so long, the old 17 Club World Cup felt almost like a preordained European coronation.
A bit of a foregone conclusion sometimes.
Like the UEFA Champions League winner just turning up to claim global bragging rights with little resistance.
Yeah.
But this 2025 edition, with its broadened participation, showcased genuine global competition.
Definitely felt different.
Al Hilal's qualification through the AFC pathway, their subsequent success here, it absolutely validates FIFA's ambitious vision for a truly worldwide club competition, doesn't it?
It really does. It proves the intent behind the expansion wasn't just about adding more games or commercial opportunities.
Right.
But about genuinely leveling the playing field. Seeing teams from diverse regions compete at the highest level and proving they can not only participate, but win against the sport's traditional giants. Historically, this upset immediately ranks among the Club World Cup's most significant and defining moments. It's not just a footnote.
No, it's a major chapter.
It's a pivotal chapter in the history of soccer. Al Hilal became definitively the first Asian club to eliminate Manchester City in any competition. That's a monumental statistical and symbolic milestone.
And they ended Pep's perfect run, too.
And in doing so, they also ended Pep Guardiola's perfect 11-0 Club World Cup record across his 10 years at Barcelona, Bayern Munich, and Manchester City.
11-0 until now.
That's a legendary, almost untouchable record that has now been dramatically snapped. Adds another layer of historical weight to this match. It's a moment that will forever be part of soccer history discussions, cited as an example of when the established order was truly challenged and overthrown.
Okay, here's where it gets really interesting when we talk about reactions. How did the world react to this earth-shattering upset? From the fans to the global commentators.
The reaction was massive, immediate, and resonated far beyond Orlando.
Yeah.
Huge, jubilant celebrations across Saudi Arabia and the broader Middle East. Just immense regional pride.
You could feel it online.
Oh, yeah. Al Hilal already a giant in terms of fan base, saw their 40-plus million social media followers just erupt. An unprecedented wave of celebration flooding platforms with triumph, national pride.
And even rival fans getting behind them.
What's truly remarkable, and a testament to the significance of this win, were widespread reports of traditional rivals Al Nassr, Al Ittihad supporters actively backing Al Hilal, cheering them on despite those deep-seated club rivalries.
Wow, that shows how big this was.
It transcends mere club loyalty. This triumph was universally seen as powerful validation of Saudi Arabian soccer's global ambitions, a collective achievement for the whole nation and region.
And on the flip side, City fans.
Well, Manchester City fans expressed deep shock, disappointment, disbelief, really, at their team's early and unexpected elimination. Social media criticism, in particular, focused heavily on Ederson's performance.
Yeah, saw some of that. Questioning his positioning, attitude maybe.
Some supporters certainly did, questioning his shot stopping on the day. The defeat definitely raised uncomfortable questions about City's motivation, focus, preparation for the tournament, especially given their recent dominance. Left many fans searching for answers, reasons for such an unthinkable collapse.
And how did the global soccer observers, the pundits, the media, beyond the direct fan bases interpret this? A fluke or something more fundamental?
Global soccer observers largely celebrated the upset as compelling evidence of changing competitive dynamics within the sport. It was widely seen as a positive, sort of democratizing development for soccer worldwide.
What were some seeing?
ESPN immediately described it as one of the shocks of the Club World Cup. Arab News highlighted the sheer historic nature of the achievement for Saudi soccer and Asia. Chinese sports media coverage also heavily emphasized the growing strength of non-European soccer and, crucially, the undeniable success of Saudi investment in building world-class teams.
So not seen as a fluke then?
Not widely, no. It was widely seen as a concrete, undeniable sign that the substantial financial and strategic investment in regions like Saudi Arabia is truly bearing fruit and fundamentally challenging the established European order in a way we haven't really seen before.
This victory clearly transcended soccer, didn't it? It feels like it represents broader geopolitical economic shift, reflecting a changing global landscape way beyond just the pitch.
It absolutely does. Al Hilal's victory, bolstered by that huge squad value, the star names like Koulibaly, Cancelo, Neves, Milinkovic-Savic, it's a vivid, unmistakable demonstration of how Saudi investment can now directly compete with and even challenge established European financial powerhouses.
It's not just buying players anymore.
No, it's a concerted effort to build genuinely competitive world-class teams outside Europe's traditional strongholds. This result definitively shows that the flow of top-tier talent and financial might is no longer solely unidirectional toward Europe.
A shift in the global soccer landscape.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Mirroring broader economic and influence shifts happening worldwide, where power and opportunity are becoming more diversified. It's a powerful statement that the concentration of excellence in soccer is potentially diversifying, becoming a truly global, multipolar sport. Outro.
So to summarize the core takeaway from this deep dive, Al Hilal's stunning 4-3 victory over Manchester City is far more than just a single match result. It's a watershed moment in global soccer's competitive landscape. Their tactical discipline, the individual brilliance we saw, their unwavering collective determination, it proved decisively that European dominance is no longer guaranteed in elite club competition. What an incredible story. What a statement.
And this result undeniably validates the expanded Club World Cup format, doesn't it? Showcasing the rising quality and genuine competitive capability of non-European soccer. It's a powerful, inspiring example of how ambition, when met with strategic execution and significant investment, can lead to truly historic, paradigm-shifting outcomes on the biggest stage.
This wasn't a fluke.
No, this was the culmination of meticulous planning and unwavering belief.
As Al Hilal now prepares for their quarterfinal against Fluminense, they carry the hopes of an entire continent and the incredible momentum of one of soccer's greatest upsets. The eyes of the world are truly on them now, watching to see how far this unprecedented journey will go.
Which leads us to a final provocative thought for you, our listener, to consider. What are the long-term implications of this shift? Does this upset signal a new era where massive financial investment combined with astute strategic coaching can truly democratize global soccer, challenging established hierarchies and traditional power structures more frequently than ever before? And if so, what other traditional power structures, maybe in sports or even beyond, could see similar disruptions and fundamental shifts in the years to come? It's a thought that certainly transcends the soccer pitch and has implications for various global landscapes, something to mull over.